All right, but now we're going to talk about the film Bad Boys Ride or Die. This is the continuing adventures of Miami cops Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett, and now we find them both having, lifelong, life-altering events. They're both hitting these milestones, and pretty much we catch them almost exactly where they left off at the end of Bad Boys for Life, the third installment, which found them, Mike discovering a long-lost son, Marcus discovering he's old as hell and probably should have retired already. And not on some Danny Glover, I'm too old for this stuff, but still out there doing it. Nah, he's just old. But now, when they're the late police captain, he gets linked to drug cartels. The titular bad boys, now they embark on a mission to clear his name and to regain the. I'll be real with you, the lost step. I don't have a clever
okay,
pun.
so I wasn't the only one
stuff.
who didn't think that movie was very good.
Hey,
I've been aware of the Bad Boys movies. I'm not. I'm a young person. I'm too young for these.
I love
the last
that.
one came out like 2 years ago. You were there.
4 years ago, actually.
Yeah,
I looked it up. It came out January of 2020 before the pandemic.
Here's my issue: as I'm not even a huge fan of this franchise, and somehow I've watched all 4 movies.
Hmm.
I don't know how that's happened to me.
Also, it's my fault. You're welcome. So give us your thoughts then.
I felt bad for Fletcher. I don't think he deserved that. But the tall dude with the glasses,
played by John Sally.
Yeah, because he was in every movie before this as either an informant or a hacker or something like this, and he just got his life back together, and they just unceremoniously kill him. I was like, oh, poor Fletcher. But one of the key things going through my mind the whole time I was watching this, and I'm not going to say I wasn't entertained, I did laugh at a good chunk of the jokes. I was looking at this and went, man, if this is what informs police now on what their job should look like, no wonder our police forces are so awful.
I would shudder to think at the real world person who's watching, maybe not the Bad Boys movies in the past. They were actually doing police work in the first one, but in this movie specifically, because it's not a cop movie. They're cops, they are actually police officers. But this whole thing immediately has okay, these two people at a wedding are immediately involved in some joint FBI U.S. Marshals venture that involves cartels in other countries and undercover agents and government in spy games. It's an espionage movie. It's an espionage and super hackers movie, but somehow
are all cop movies like this though? It's so far beyond the realm of what their job should actually look like. And to be fair, it does inform how police in real life behave. And let's be real, in every movie, Burnett and Lowry are terrible cops. They just are. They're bad cops.
In the first one, they were just lucky. I'm aware that's 30 years ago, and it's been a very different climate since then.
And
but I'll fight for that first movie. Only that first movie, but I'll fight for that first movie.
Fair enough. So the second movie has a stain on it that I can never forget.
What's that stain?
It's Megan Fox's first movie role. She's playing a stripper, and she's 15 in real life. Yes.
Well, that was a Michael Bay movie too, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
All right.
The stripper dancing under the waterfall, that's Megan Fox.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah. But yeah, these movies
forget what I was going to say.
These movies are what they are. They're dumb action movies, and for the most part, this one was fine. It more or less pulled it off. I will say I laughed real hard when Marcus just slapped the heck out of Mike when he was like, "Stop that ish stuff," and I was like, "Yes, please," because this is getting stupid. But honestly, all I kept thinking about as I got towards the end of the movie, I was like, man, I just want a movie with Armando and Reggie. I could watch a movie with Armando and Reggie the whole time. And if you're wondering who those people are, Armando is Will Smith's son from the previous movie, and Reggie is Burnett's son-in-law.
Yeah. Okay. Now here's my question: was that because you were so enamored with their antics in this movie, or is that just the thirst talking?
No, it was just the antics, honestly. Come on, that scene was awesome with Reggie.
No, the scene with Reggie was awesome, but I'm also Shay. I know you. Okay, I'm like.
I actually don't find Reggie that attractive.
Shayna really impressed with their character development.
I honestly don't find Reggie that attractive.
And the action, the performance, and acting in this, or is Shayna just sitting there watching? Hey, like, hey.
No, just that was cool action. And honestly, the only two people who consistently seem to know what they were doing.
All right. In this, we do get a couple of choice scenes. Over the past, the previous two movies, I'll say, the character of Reggie, that's Marcus Burnett's son-in-law, has been played for comic relief, and that's one of the things I'll say is a failing of. Okay, ironically enough, not this movie, and I'm the one that's always like, nah, we're talking about this movie specifically. I know, but the same characters in this movie. In the past couple of movies, he was kind of a throwaway character that was in there for the cheapest of gags, just like, low balling. And in this one, he's actually made a legitimate character. He's not given a ton of screen time, but the screen time that he gets, we actually see some development from how they perceive him, the other characters in this, to how he actually presents to us, the audience. And
he deserves the grill.
He deserves the grill.
He deserves the grill.
It was nice to see that. It was nice to see that.
In my head, I was like, ooh, when the old heads can't intimidate you anymore.
Yeah, he's just standing there, and like they're fighting with the grill, and he's like, "Can I cook my chicken now?" And they're like, "No, go away." And they're like, "Actually,"
they essentially tried to intimidate him the way they did in the first movie. Was the second movie technically, but it was the first one he was in, because there's a scene in that movie where he comes to pick the daughter up for prom, and then they do that thing, which in real life, let's just own, is not funny when fathers intimidate the girl's date. And it's like, that's not funny, you're grown men, that's a child. But that, so they punked him there when he was like supposed to be like 15, 16, and then you see him later and they're still punking him, and you get the feeling like he's trying to be respectful because he loves that girl. And now they're married, they're having a baby, and he just took out a whole platoon to protect the family. Give him his flowers. Do not do that to him.
That's right. You let him cook his chicken.
Let him cook his chicken.
Let him cook his chicken, please.
Yes, you lick him. You
gonna make some potato salad and set the table.
Yeah.
One thing that we've talked about scenes in this movie. That's one thing that ultimately it turns out to be. I didn't feel like this was a coherent story from beginning to end. It's a whole bunch of scenes that are occasionally tied together with these videos that they find. It was a little hard to follow. And the thing is, I used to be a huge Bad Boys fan. They kind of lost me with the last movie, but I went into this fully objective, because it's like, how many things have we? Well, not how many things. There's only been a couple, but there have been movies that they've lost a step over the course of a franchise, and then they have been able to pick up again. You know what I'm saying? And this wasn't really it for Bad Boys. I think this was it felt like a swan song. I mean, maybe that's good. I don't know. But in the story,
do you want more of these?
I'm not saying I want more of these. I'm just trying to reflect on whether or not this one measured up to carrying on the quote unquote legacy, because it really felt like at the end of the previous movie, they were trying to pass the torch.
Yeah.
So it's like we've got this new team of young cops. They're more in tune with technology of today. We've got Will Smith's son. He's a fugitive, but it also seemed like Will Smith was handing him the Bad Boys, I don't know, mantle, whatever you want to call it, where maybe in the next movie he'll break out of prison and he'll do a thing that helps out the young cops and they'll work together or something or other. And that's a little bit of what we got here. But it was more heavily steeped in corny jokes about Marcus has to have he's having heart troubles and he can't have salty food, so now he's all about those snacks. Now it's all about Mike. He's got to be responsible because he's got to save his son. He's got to look out for his new family. And a lot of those, cops got to be serious about their business now tropes. So a lot of the story itself, a lot of the effect of this movie was muddled in that. And honestly, if it wasn't for the action set pieces in this were huge. And very different from what we've come to expect from the Bad Boys movies in the past, because those were all Michael Bay and it was all guns and big explosions in this. This was more sci-fi hacking, monitoring on screens, drone shots, animal attacks. You know, yeah, but it was different. But the action is what people were definitely coming for, I think. Abby, you've been a little silent over there. Let's get your thoughts.
I have no thoughts on this. Like, I
Shane, listen.
I mean, like, it was the moments. Some of this was, I thought, hilarious. Where it's like some of the jokes landed really well. Like the sort of like the in the past life type of thing, where it's like if you were still a donkey, this would be the reason. Just like the whole donkey interaction. Like about like the past life is like you were a donkey and I was your owner and I was so confused. But also that's something that one of my friends would probably tell me just like straight on, and I'd be like, okay, and then just continue with their lives. Weird thing for your friends
to be telling you, Abby. Just heads up.
Well, we're not cops, so I don't care.
It's not a cop thing. It's an old man thing. This movie has he has a heart attack, so now he's having out of body experiences.
Yep.
And these fever hallucinations where he's talking to dead folks. Often they straight up did the Black Panther
spirit realm thing.
No, seriously, he's even up against that tree in the one tree
in the dream realm.
What's going on?
Oh my god! In the ancestral plane, that's what it's called.
Yes, that. Oh man. Okay, can I just point out one thing that really bugged me?
Sure.
And I literally stopped the movie when this happened just because I just didn't understand. So, beginning of the movie, Mike gets married, right? Marcus has his heart attack at the wedding, but they go out of their way to show that their deceased captain's daughter and granddaughter attended the wedding, right? Mm-hmm. The next time you see that chick, right, the daughter, she looked Mike in the face and essentially like, your bastard son killed my father, I hate you. Like, I was like, wait, why'd you go to his wedding if you hate him so much? I'm so confused.
I had questions myself. I think we're supposed to believe that their relationship was still tight, but she has that like in the back, in like the crawl. It's just like, I still associate with this person, but I'll never forget this thing that happened with them. It's like if you have a coworker that you're okay with, but you remember that time they got drunk and said something anti-Semitic.
Okay, that's getting drunk and saying something that's you're blaming them for the death of your parent. I feel like that's slightly more personal.
I'm not saying it was perfect. I'm just trying to justify.
I'm just saying it's stupid.
I'm just trying to justify. This is the only way I can get through the rest of this movie.
Right, no, but I literally had to stop and like think about it for like 5 minutes. This doesn't make any sense. It's really bothering me because that's like half an hour into a movie and this is huge glaring plot hole, and then she like leads a manhunt and is chasing him down, and I'm just like, why? You went to his wedding at the beginning.
Yeah. Also, is like the sort of like I can't believe he got married to his therapist, his physical therapist.
Well, I'm sure that's not.
That's a thing that's in line with his character. That's a thing that.
But that is a thing that has some dubious moral issues.
Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, that is very like.
Oh, you're not supposed to date your patient.
The dubious morality of like marrying a patient, like although it's like physical therapies, like it's. Physical therapy, I almost dropped my water.
Physical therapy can be a very intimate relationship. You spend a lot of time with this person to help you do basic stuff again. So like...
But you mean to tell me you surprised at some...
This is Florida, so it tracks.
Among cops in Florida? In the Bad Boys franchise?
Look, I expect cops not to behave at any place at any time, but that's not the point. This is fiction, and at some point, it has to make at least a little sense.
Well, yes. The only thing that kind of makes sense is the racist crocodile.
I know.
Crocodile came out of...
That just came out of nowhere. Just like crocodile, that whole scene is just like, it's like, man, I no longer like Mr. Fantastic. He's just not a good guy anymore, I guess.
Is that particular actor?
That's he
who,
I couldn't find. I struggled to find who the actor was myself. Abby's talking about. I just had the cast list up here.
Right.
Abby's
the mayoral candidate.
He plays
mayoral
Lockwood
candidate in this. Yeah. Ian Grufford.
Yeah.
Ian Grufford. He plays the mayoral candidate. So I'm like, why does that guy look familiar?
Knew the entire time.
He played Mr. Fantastic in the 2004 Fantastic
one with
Four
Chris
movie.
Evans.
And I'm like,
he's one of those characters because he had. Okay, I'm going to try to explain this without sounding like I'm saying something mean about this man. He has one of those faces that he's good looking enough to be charming, but he's also not so good looking that he can't also be creepy. And he kind of rides that line throughout his career. Like when he plays a good guy, he usually plays they're decent people, but 50% of the times I see him, he plays some sort of like heel of some kind.
All right. I don't recall seeing the dude that much, but all right. So Shane hating on his aesthetics. All I'll say
more like early 2000s. He was in more stuff.
All right. But yeah, there's not a lot to say about the actual play out of this movie. It really was a lot of different scenes strung together by some hard to follow exposition. And the thing is, like, that sounds like just we hardcore hating. I like Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2. I feel like it kind of fell off around Bad Boys for Life, the third one, and I was hoping that this would be the one that like brought it back. That this was we in the fourth installment now. Bad Boys back on the job and they're riding again, and that's not what I got. I got a movie that was muddled with a lot of old man gags and a whole lot of special effects. And I think they were hoping that we throw both of these at them a lot, and they'll kind of forget that this is a bit of a flimsy story. You can have a flimsy story and still have a good movie if the rest of the stuff is on point. And my problem was that the rest of the stuff was not on point, unfortunately. You could have two of the three and be all right. This had maybe one of the three. And that one of the three was the action was solid. That fight in the plane, there's a fight in the plane that's worthy of like any Jason Statham action picture. So that was solid. The performances of Reggie and Armand there. They were actually pretty decent supporting characters, but the supporting characters aren't the main ones you follow in the movie. And the main ones we follow in the movie, in this movie specifically, I think were the weak points. I got to give this a thumbs down, which kind of hurts because I was really hoping to like this one. After the last one, gut punched me, I still have fond memories as a kid of watching the first Bad Boys. I was hoping this one would have been the shiz, but it is what it is. Shay?
Once again, I am right in the middle. And I think this time I will give it a thumbs up just because I think I laughed more than I did in Atlas. Mm-hmm. Though to be fair, some of the times I was laughing may not been what they were hoping for me to laugh at. Because some of the things in this I thought were just comically stupid. I think that because this movie for me sits on the line of just being kind of comically stupid.
Yeah.
And so I can laugh at it more than I laughed at Atlas because it just wasn't as funny. This is bad and funny, so it kind of works in a way for me, but oh my god, yeah, the main characters annoyed the hell out of me the majority of the movie. Like, I'm like, oh god, I can't stand you and your old man BS. Like, go somewhere and dude, you shouldn't be eating a convenience store hot dog when you got clogged arteries. Please stop. That's why you got that licorice jelly bean.
It was a little forced. You're right. All right, Abby.
I have to give this a thumbs down. Like, I laughed. I laughed a lot. There was a bunch of parts of the movie where like I had a fun time watching this. It just like there were just parts where I was just like, what's the point of like inviting this person to your wedding if they're just gonna like be leading like a big manhunt for you? Isn't that like a huge like conflict of interest for the person leading the manhunt?
I really felt like she was about to shoot her daughter at that last scene too.
Yeah,
like, it was just that deep, the hatred.
So I was like,
I can make another one of you.
Wow. You know what would have been nice if in the last movie she had shown up and been like, I'm gonna get whoever got like she had thrown that revenge gauntlet down earlier and it made sense a little bit and she wasn't at the wedding. I don't know. Or at least made it clear that maybe she brought the daughter because she really wanted to go and she didn't want to explain her grudge to people that she had cared about all her life. You could have done so many things that you did not do. All I want now is if you're gonna do another movie, I want Reggie and Armando. That's all I want. I don't need none of these cranky old men. Go somewhere. Reggie and Armando, they could take out entire military battalions all by themselves.
Okay. All right. The film is called Bad Boys Ride or Die. We felt mixed on it, but I'm surprised at the different juxtaposition of the mixed feelings here. But if anything we said makes you want to check it out, it's right there for you.